All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually quite annoyed, quite mad at the moment, and some of you guys may like this, some of you guys may not like this. I'm going to be absolutely honest and truthful about what I'm about to say. I don't have any affiliations with any of these players. I don't have any affiliations with any of our attackers, any of our midfielders, any of our defenders. And that goes for Hakim Ziyech as well. A lot of you guys know that I like Hakim Ziyech a lot, but at the end of the day, I support Chelsea before anyone else. I support Chelsea. Chelsea comes first for me. If there's going to be tension within the squad, and if there's going to be complaining and moaning within the squad, I've got no time for that. I've got no time for that. So today, once again, it's time for a lot of truth bombs. It's time for a lot of truth bombs, and I urge every single one of you guys to leave your sentiments outside. If you're going to sit here and watch this and you're going to absorb what I'm about to say, you need to leave your sentiments outside. I'm not here for the sentiments today. Simon Johnson, and I've just read the whole article, wrote a piece on Thomas Tuchel and his first year anniversary and how the second year is going to look like. And the article for the first quarter of it was all good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was talking about Thomas Tuchel's achievements. It was talking about how quickly he turned things around. It was talking about how, you know, in terms of all the finals that we've got to. But slowly, as it came to the second quarter and from the middle portion of the article, and I'm going to go through bits and pieces of this article, and I'm going to give you my opinion and my truth bomb around it. And I'm going to try and see if I can get some comments from you guys. But look, I may not be able to get through all of the comments because I've got a lot to say today, and I hope you guys see what I'm about to say. So Simon Johnson goes on to say that there's quite a lot of attackers that are not happy with Thomas Tuchel and could possibly look to leave Chelsea in the summer. And apparently this is a bit of a growing concern in the Chelsea team at the moment. Hence why, you know, the poor results, and it's not all about tiredness and so on and so forth. Each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for joining. Please smash the like button as soon as you come through. We've got a lot to go through in this particular article from Simon Johnson, which just dropped about 4 or 5 hours ago. And I want to go through each and every one of these points with you guys. Smash the like button as soon as you come in. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification as well. You're going to enjoy this. Truth bomb. Okay. I'm going to start off from this particular point. This is where it all starts becoming a bit crazy in the article. Chelsea's title hopes are effectively over for another season. Despite the result against Spurs at the weekend, they trail leaders Manchester City, who beat them home and away by 10 points and have played a game more. Record signing Lukaku is struggling for form and appeared to blame Tuchel's tactics during an interview with Sky Italia last month. The Chelsea coach, who was backed by the club, dropped the Belgian for the game and was praised for how he handled the situation. But it is believed the Belgian isn't the only who is showing signs of discontent. Indeed, a source connected to one of the senior players paints a rather worrying picture. A source connected to one of the senior players paints a rather worrying picture. They claim that the mood among many of the Chelsea attackers isn't good, to say the least, due to the way Tuchel uses and treats them. The situation has grown serious enough for some of them to start considering leaving in the summer. I'm going to pause there and then I'll carry on for the other parts. It says they claim that the mood among many of the Chelsea attackers isn't good, to say the least, due to the way Tuchel uses and treats them. The situation has grown serious enough for some of them to start considering leaving in the summer. How he treats them? Are you serious? I mean, if you're considering leaving, leave. I've got no issues with that. You can leave. The fact that this manager came in, took over our club in such a mess. We were dwindling in 9th and 10th position. Many of you guys complain, why does he keep playing the three at the back, the three at the back? There's a reason why he's been playing the way he's been playing, because we were rubbish before him. We were letting in goals for fun. He had to come in and he had to do a quick fix. Some of these players are acting as if the time is running away. You have to be patient. Thomas Tuchel has only been in the football club for 12 months. Literally today is the anniversary. 12 months. Give him an opportunity to work with you guys. You're talking about being mistreated. You're talking about leaving this summer. Leave. You have not been good. You haven't been good. You guys are lucky you won a Champions League with this manager. Some of you guys would never ever win the Champions League. Yet this gaffer comes in, puts it all together, and we perform so well in the Champions League, and you now have the right to put your chest out to say you're the European champions. Because of this man. Not once was it because of you guys. Because you guys were still missing last season as well. You talk about mistreating. You're missing opportunities. This isn't new under Thomas Tuchel. You were missing under Frank Lampard as well. You guys are not good enough to defend with the four at the back. That's why he went with the three. You guys were letting in goals for fun. Under Frank Lampard, you could not even defend. This gaffer comes in and he makes us difficult to beat. This gaffer comes in, takes us to an FA Cup final. This gaffer comes in, pushes us from 9th to 4th. This gaffer comes in and wins you the Champions League against all odds. Against Manchester City. And now you have the audacity to say, oh, he doesn't treat us right. He doesn't treat us right and I'm considering leaving. Leave. 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 How dare you? It's only been 12 months. And you're frustrated. You've been poor. Have a look at yourself in the mirror. You've been poor. Have the guts to look at yourself in the mirror and say that you have been poor and you need to be better. Instead, you say the manager mistreats you. But it's not finished. There's more to talk about. Look at what the article goes on to say. Tuchel doesn't hide his frustration towards players during games. His angst has been somewhat understandable due to Chelsea's inability to take chances in front of the goal. This is a major factor in the Premier League challenge going awry. Injuries and positive COVID-19 tests haven't helped, but in order to find a solution to their goal-scoring problem, there have been a lot of changes made to the lineup in the more advanced roles. One source points to this inconsistency, both in terms of selection and in attacking roles, as the primary reason why none of the Chelsea forwards have been able to build significant rhythm or chemistry on the pitch. Another more concerning point of tension has been the way Tuchel talks to his attackers. The sources describes his manner as brutal, with players regularly subjected to a barrage of criticism for every wrong decision and missed chance in matches and training. What do you expect your gaffer to do? Clap, clap. Every time you make a silly mistake, you're meant to be a good player. Every time, say, for example, Ziyech makes a mistake, he's meant to be in his prime. What do you expect Thomas Tuchel from the sideline? Clap you. Go on, son. Go on. You're doing well. Every time Hudson-Odoi gets into a goal-scoring position and he skies it, every time Pulisic should be making a pass, but he doesn't, and he ruins the attacking play, what's he meant to do? Every time Timo Werner is right in front of the goals without a goalkeeper, still misses. You buy a player for 100 million, he sneaks behind you and starts doing an interview, starts talking about Inter Milan and how much he loves Lautaro Martinez and how much he thinks Chelsea, Inter fan base are the best in the world. What do you want this gaffer to do? You're now complaining because this gaffer is brutal with his player, regularly subjected to a barrage of criticism for every wrong decision. Of course he's going to barrage you. You've been pathetic. Some people are saying, Miz, we shouldn't believe everything, man. It's not about believing. It's about Simon Johnson works for the 30. That is a very well-established organization. And he's been talking to people internally. So whether it's players or whether it's people associated with the players, there's some people leaking this information out. There's a Chelsea insider. You need to believe this. Simon Johnson is not making all of this up in thin air. Have a look at what Simon Phillips also tweeted out, if you're in Twitter. Simon Phillips has also tweeted out that he didn't want to report all of this stuff, but it's true. He's been talking to some of the insiders as well. What do you want? What do you want the gaffer to do if you're making crazy mistakes? For a second, forget about the formational change. Forget about the 4-1-4-1. Forget about the 3-4-3. I'm talking about fundamentals. I'm talking about fundamentals. Not a single attacker has been good. Werner, Pulisic, Cho, Ziyech, Lukaku, Mount, Havertz, none of them. Forget about the formation for a second. You're passing. You're saying, what type of a mentality is this for the players? You're saying that the inconsistencies of the lineup, the constant barrage, the brutal, way of Thomas Tuchel addressing and criticizing them on every mistake. You're telling me you can't handle that? You're telling me you can't handle that? This is the issue with this day and age, man. This is the issue. Do you know what happened back when Mourinho was our manager in the first stint? You know, you think he didn't talk like that? You think Mourinho's not an angry man? You think he didn't talk like that to Frank Lampard, John Terry, Didier Drogba, Ashley Cole and the likes? Do you think those players back in those times, they moaned and complained and went home crying? These players are complaining that the gaffer is inconsistent with the lineup. The gaffer is criticizing me for every wrong decision. Well, get better. Get better then. Chelsea Football Club pays you good money. Chelsea Football Club, when it comes to contract negotiations, you don't hold back. You want the best of the best money. Where's your shame when you're asking for money then? Where's your shame? Each and every one of your attackers are getting paid handsomely, and you can't take criticism from your gaffer. The same gaffer that was able to win you the Champions League medal that you put around your neck. Thomas Tuchel may be open to letting some individuals leave in order to bring in some of his own players. His current squad is full of players left from past manager. 100% agreed, Victor. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Why should Thomas Tuchel suffer by having players that are not even his? And you know what? This article from Simon Johnson actually keeps saying that Erling Haaland was the first choice. And because of the fact that we were priced out and Mino Raiola and the likes, we ended up getting Romelu Lukaku. Let's give who Thomas Tuchel wants. Hell, you know what? I'm at a point where if Thomas Tuchel wants Ousmane Dembele, have Ousmane Dembele. Even though I've got my opinion on the particular player, I don't think he's the right choice for the for the club. But I want Thomas Tuchel to have his players. These players, they're a mixture of many managers. These players, they can't hack it. They can't handle the truth. Sure, we play with less attacking players. I get that. The 3-4-3 is not conducive to so many of our attackers. I get that. And I also understand that Thomas Tuchel changes a lot of the attacking options up front on a regular basis. That's because some of them don't suit the opposition. Some of them are out of form. Like, they'll play one good game and then they'll play 3 poor ones. How can you persist with that? How can you persist with that when you've got other players waiting in the wings wanting to play? This is right. Our scouting sucks. This is why I wanted in the last summer to give Thomas Tuchel more players. Get rid of some of the old ones and get him more players. I'm going to continue on talking about a few more of these points over here in this article because it gets even more tastier. Meanwhile, please smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Over 120 people live right now after 17 minutes. Please get those likes up to well over 100. And I'm going to try and pick out some of the comments from you guys as I continue on. Please, let's get those likes up to well over 100. Miz, to be honest, we all knew Lukaku wasn't playing well for the last few games and we were frustrated he was starting, so why the attackers shouldn't be unhappy? I get that. I get that. But why are they unhappy with Thomas Tuchel? The board literally invested 100 million on this particular player. It's not easy for Thomas Tuchel to grab Lukaku and throw him into the bench. There is such a thing called politics in football. It's not easy. It's only been 12 months. These players, they've been crap for Pulisic, 3rd season. Some of these players, 2nd season. Thomas Tuchel, 1st season only. They've been poor even before Thomas Tuchel. Yunus, good to see you, my man. Yunus in the house again. Yunus, let me know. Let me know if you're keen, bro, to jump on. WhatsApp me if you want to jump on. I'd love to hear what you have to say as well, bro. If you're free, no pressure. So now we know why performance dipped. We were right, bro. We could tell something wasn't right behind the scenes. 100%, man. This article from Simon Johnson's mad. The first quarter of the article is all nice, lovey-dovey, talks about how Thomas Tuchel has achieved a lot of stuff, and then it literally a dagger behind your back, and everything comes out. I've not even gone halfway through. There's so many other things. Wait till I start talking about the salaries. Apparently, the players know each other's salaries. The live chat is wanting Yunus. Yunus, let me know, bro. I'll send you the link. Just in case, I'll send you the link on How can I send you the link, Eunice? You're not even on Twitter, but maybe you can still access your DMs. I don't know. I can't even DM you. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can send this to Eunice. Just hold on, guys. I'm going to get onto this. I'm going to get onto this. I'm going to get onto this article very soon. Just give me 1 second. How do I do this? Let me log on to StreamYard. Yeah, all right. Eunice will come on. Give me 1 second, guys. Meanwhile, keep smashing the like button, ladies and gentlemen. For God's sakes. One, 3, 3, 3, 9, 2. All right. Cool. Almost there, guys. All right. I've sent the link to Eunice. Hopefully he'll join soon. Yeah, I've just sent it through WhatsApp. It's just because I'm on my PC. That's why. But yeah, let's get back to this article. And then the further this article keeps talking about oh, cool, bro. Further, the article talks about a consequence of this, the source claims, is Chelsea's attackers second-guessing themselves, not playing on instinct, and worse, being afraid to try things and risk giving the ball away. The intensity of Tuchel's criticism has also created the impression, rightly or wrongly, for some that subsequent team selection decisions are born on emotion rather than simply form and fitness. This is crazy. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. A consequence of this, the source claims, is Chelsea's attackers second-guessing themselves, not playing on instinct, and worse, being afraid to try things and risk giving the ball away. The intensity of Tuchel's criticism, wow. They're blaming Tuchel's criticism for themselves not playing well. Apparently, they don't want to try things. They don't want to risk things. They're scared. They're scared to give away the ball. They're scared that Thomas Tuchel is going to criticize them and he's going to pick teams based on emotions. Do they think Thomas Tuchel's an idiot? They must think Thomas Tuchel's an idiot. They really do. They seriously must think that he's a novice. Eunice, my bro, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fuming, man. I was having a good day, and then I read this article. It's just absolutely pissed me off, man.
I didn't even know there was an article up until I saw your video live, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I check, and I'm reading the description, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is Simon Johnson."
Bro, Simon Johnson for the Athletic legit dropped like. You have to take these things seriously. You do, because he's talking about quoting internal, whether it's players or players associated members in and around the team. These are legitimate quotes. That he can't be making this up. Like some of the people in the live chat are saying, "Oh, now Miz, don't believe everything he says." I've got to believe quotes.
There's quotes, but we have to remember Simon Johnson is very, very, very well connected. He's one of the most reliable ones. When you look at the Chelsea journalistic group that there is associated to the inside sources, Matt Law, obviously, but we know his agenda at times. So there's always like you got to read what he says. Simon Johnson, Nizar Kinsella, Liam Toomey. And I don't know if I've missed anyone else, but those are the guys. Simon Johnson has been that for
David
time.
Ornstein probably has some.
David Ornstein has, very well connected sources at Arsenal, but now it seems like even at Chelsea. So, but he's at the Athletic as well, if I'm not mistaken. So him and Simon Johnson will be working together.
Yeah.
So Simon Johnson knows his stuff, man. He knows his stuff.
But I'm gonna read a few extracts for you, and I want to see.
Hit me because you're going to get a reaction here. I don't know what's been said.
Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm reading, bro. I'm just going to carry on from where I stopped. I'm going to read this to you. So they were talking about how apparently some of the attackers. We're basically talking about attackers. We're not talking about the midfielders or the defenders or anything like that. These are the attackers, and you can probably guess who these attackers may be. The ones who are not playing or the ones who have been playing poorly. In fact, that's all of them. So it could be anyone. Although the article, we'll get to it. It talks about how the attackers are upset, Eunice, that Thomas Tuchel was brutal with his criticism of the attackers when they make a mistake, when they make a wrong decision, so on and so forth. And it goes on to say, a consequence of this, the source claims, is Chelsea's attackers second-guessing themselves, not playing on instincts, and worse, being afraid to try things and risk giving the ball away. The intensity of Tuchel's criticism has also created the impression, rightly or wrongly, for some that subsequent team selection decisions are born of emotion rather than simply form and fitness. I mean, do they think Thomas Tuchel's an idiot?
Everything you've just pointed out is exactly what Thomas Tuchel said at the beginning when he first joined, that he was trying to fix. Like being able to play on instinct. He emphasized that. He wants players to be able to create their own solutions when they are faced with a problem in between 2 or 3 players. He wants them to be able to create on the spot and not adhere to a certain way. In terms of criticizing the way that they've been doing and giving the ball away, well, that's what they're doing anyway. So if they're hesitating because of lack of confidence or whatever, because they're scared of the backlash they're going to get from TT, well, they're making it worse for themselves. It's as simple as that. And the way that TT's reacting is the same way we're reacting.
What do these players expect Thomas Tuchel to do? Clap at them when they make a bad decision?
Well, this has been the issue at Chelsea for time. Yeah, there's players in this dressing room that are not. Oh, what's the word, man? They can't just see through a difficult patch or difficult time. You know, they can't deal with it. They haven't got that mental capacity, bro. They need everything to be lovey-dovey and they need to be, stroked.
Bro, this is what it comes down to, right? It's mentality. How are they sitting there complaining?
It's ridiculous. Especially for a manager that managed to pull off what he done in such a short space of time. You should be listening and just doing what he says.
Bro, this manager's been around for 12 months, bro. Today is his 12th month, 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Some of these attackers have been there. Most of the attackers besides Lukaku have been there before him. And let's be honest, they were rubbish before him as well.
I mean, we've had this problem with past managers in terms of mentality. We had it briefly with Jose towards the end. We had it with Conte towards the end. We had it with Sarri briefly. He was saying about mentality and players not being so strong in the head. We had it even with Lamps previously for a short time, even though we know Lamps had a big portion of the blame because he just wasn't managing the squad correctly. But even he was saying, these lads ain't ready. Now TT comes in, wins the Champions League with lads that aren't ready. And all of a sudden, they're doing this to someone who should be, as I've said, I don't think we've had a manager like this since Prime Jose. And
Eunice,
he should be given all the respect.
We've made every single final.
What more do these players want? Do you know what I mean? Bruv, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the performances that we were seeing, it's emphasized on this point. Like, was it tiredness? Of course it wasn't.
Bro,
It
talks about
wasn't.
tiredness. Simon Johnson says it was not tiredness. He actually
Of course it
mentions
wasn't.
We know it's not
We
tiredness.
knew this.
But it even goes on to say how Hakim Ziyech wasn't smiling when he scored that goal because he's one of those players as well, part of this attacking group that's not been happy. And I've been saying it. Eunice, you know how much I love Hakim Ziyech. But I swear to you right now, that brother can leave if he's causing issues in Chelsea Football Club.
Here's the thing, right? With these players, and there's two types of unhappy that could be happening. Now, I don't know if Simon Johnson goes into detail, so you can correct me on this. You can quote if you've seen anything. But there's two types of unhappy. There's unhappy of like players looking at themselves going, I'm not happy. Like we should be doing so much better than this. And they're peed off. Cool. I'm cool with that, right? Because yes, you should. You should be doing better. But then if there's players that are unhappy because they can't take it, get out.
This article kind of gives me the vibe that they can't take it. It's the ego that how am I being benched so often? How am I? And it goes on. Like I'll continue. It says, no doubt the club's fans and those reading this will think Tuchel's anger on the sidelines is justified when the team aren't delivering. It is also customary for players to get upset when the team is losing or they're not being picked regularly. This is what you were saying. You're losing. I'm not getting picked. Spirits were lifted by Tottenham triumph. It was the third win over their rivals in less than 3 weeks, after also beating them in both legs of the EFL semi-final. But that doesn't mean the potential problems have suddenly disappeared. Other sources have confirmed that in recent weeks, the feeling around the camp hasn't been good and share similar views. It's not just because of tiredness. Another contact close to the squad says, something is not right. This is typical Chelsea. New manager does well. After 12, 18 months, people start getting frustrated with what's going on. Some players are starting to see through a few things. You can't have one rule for some and different rules for others. Some look at players who are starting, not playing well, and still keeping their place.
Lukaku. Oh, you see. Oh, but it's all coming together.
Bro, we're in a mess.
Together.
We're in a mess.
It's coming together in a way that we saw this happening. So I feel I'd want to say credit to all of us that managed to see it. And I think I speak for quite a few, not just us, but even the other lads that do what we do. Everyone seems to suss it early and go, something's not right. And the whole interview, and then after that, and then still getting picked, not performing. Bruv, it stems from there, innit? It stems from there. Of course it does. Because before that, we didn't have this problem.
Now we know. Maybe it's Kai Havertz as well. Maybe it's Timo Werner, Kai Havertz thinking, why is this Lukaku who's dropping stinkers every single game day, and we are busting our backsides in training and we're not starting?
Yeah. Which is, from my perspective, in my previews, the last 2 games, I've had Havertz and Werner be starting.
Me too.
Because I think that was the correct thing to do. Now, that hasn't happened.
Even though they haven't been good either. Let's be honest. They've not been good either.
Well, to be honest, like, with Havertz, I think he deserves an opportunity because he's been on the bench. He's just been there, right? Yeah. With Timo, you kind of know what you're getting, but you don't. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen with that guy. You know, yes, he puts in a clinic and then still doesn't score. Sometimes he might put in a stinker. Maybe he might score one. You just don't know what you're getting with him. But with Akai, for example, with Lukaku performing in that fashion, Havertz deserves the top opportunity. It's as simple as that. Havertz needs to come on. But we're not getting that. Now, this leads me to think that TT must see it in the same way. But when you have a player that you've just got in through the door, 100 million.
100 million.
You're getting pressure from the club. If it was down to TT, I'm sure he'd be like, nah, mate, you're dropped. You're playing.
Eunice, he's not stupid, right?
He's not
TT is not
stupid, bruv. He's not stupid. And if it applies to anyone, I mean, look at everyone else and the way that he rotates and moves them. You know, if everyone puts in a bad performance, all right, they're on the bench the next game. There's always tinkering going on.
Yeah.
With Rom up top, there's none of it. And that leads me to think that there's pressure from upstairs because I think it's like, you got to get this guy going. We paid 100 million for him, bruv. You're going to have to do it. Sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
The article goes on to say how Thomas Tuchel, he's not gonna argue with the board anymore. He's had issues previously. He actually says in this article as well, I love being at Chelsea. I can't imagine being anywhere else. He goes on to say, I've got a contract to 2024. I want to make sure I reach it, because not all the other Chelsea managers have not reached that target.
Yeah.
This gaffer wants to be here, bro. We've had previous gaffers that didn't want to be, sticking around. Sorry, as much as I thought maybe he didn't want to stick around. As soon as it got heavy, he left.
Yeah, I miss Italy.
Conte sabotaged the whole entire football club. Till today, he's getting paid out.
Getting paid. He's got 2 payrolls happening on his when he gets his pay. Like, he looks at his bank statement.
Paychecks.
He checks his accountant. He's got Tottenham and he's got Chelsea.
It's mad, bro. It's mad. I mean, Yunus, I'm going to continue with a few more other quotes as well, but I want to get from you. The bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that I could care less. Every single one of these fools can leave. And I've said it before this stream started. And Yunus, you know very well, there are certain fans, they have sentiments, they love a player more than the club. I could not care less. I am not affiliated with any player.
Yep.
I want the best for Chelsea Football Club. And that goes for Hakim Ziyech, who I love so much. But if he's one of those players, because it's quite telling, Hakim Ziyech post-match, that game against Spurs, he came out post-match saying, it's not surprising we played well because each player played in their right position and we played to our strengths. As much as I like him being honest and upfront, mate, keep your mouth shut as well. No need to do that. Luckily enough for him, Thomas Tuchel also said that I played Ziyech in the wide right position, probably his best position. And let's be honest, that's not a position that's available in his normal 3-4-3.
Of course not, no.
This gaffer is literally not hiding anything when he's talking to the fans.
No, he knows what he's doing.
I swear, Yunus, all of these players can go. All of them can go. I've got no issues with it.
How many times have we said that, bro? How many times, like, through past managers, have we gone, look, these players can go, we've got to keep the manager. And then the opposite happens. Like, every single time, man. Every single time. The only difference that I see in this situation compared to the others is that this is, I think, this is definitely repairable. Well, repairable with everyone else except for the Lukaku situation, because that just goes too deep. Like, unless he starts performing, that might not be able to be repaired up until the summer. Now, thankfully, we haven't got much time left until the summer, so we'll see what happens. But everyone else, I don't think they don't dislike Tuchel. I don't think they do. I think they just like, as you said, some of them can't take it, or some of them are probably just a little weak-minded. Some of them want to play. Some of them are frustrated. I just think, with time, that could be repairable. But yeah.
I'm starting to think Lukaku is a bit of a virus, bro. I think this virus needs, like, as much as, you know what, Yunus, honestly, like, I kind of sort of let it go. Like, whatever he did, the interview, I was like, you know what, F it. I don't care. You did what you did. You're a fool for doing that. Let's move on. You produce your efforts on field. You bang in goals. That's all I can ask from you.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that. And now you've become a virus in the team. You're actually a virus. And I'm going to go and talk about wages as well. There's a few issues around wages. The players know each other's wages.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to talk to you about this as well. But Yunus, he's become a virus. And this virus needs to be eliminated now. I feel like there are other teammates who are looking at Lukaku now thinking, well, I can be vocal as well. I need to express my feelings. Or maybe thinking, why is he starting? As I just said, how come I'm not starting? This is an issue, Yunus. This is a proper issue, bro.
The thing is that since the Lukaku situation, we knew, like, my problem with it wasn't necessarily like the interview. Like, the interview itself, he said what he said. We now know his feelings. All right, cool. We'll put that to bed up until the end of the season, but I need you to perform. My concern was the repercussions from that. And I know it was the same for you. Yeah. Like, what is this going to lead to? Exactly. We knew that this had the potential. What happened with the interview had the potential to wreck the entire dressing room. has that potential. That's why it was such a big deal. Now we're seeing the repercussions because this guy isn't a 30 million pound striker. You know, he didn't come on the cheap. He's not someone we can just go, okay, you're playing crap. All right, stick on the bench. See you later. And, you know, no one would really bat an eye because he wasn't that much of an investment.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the case. Like, this is a club record signing.
It's a mega deal.
And he's done this. And now everyone's questioning his, you know, intentions. The trust ain't there. But he has to play. But that's what's wrong. He shouldn't have to play. Exactly. But TT's in between a rock and a hard place. This is the thing. The repercussions from that was what I was concerned with. And I think we're seeing it now.
100% agreed, man. 100% agreed. Cycle of Offense, thank you so much for your super chat. If the board doesn't back the manager now, this evil trend of players turning against the manager when going gets tough will never change now or never. You know what the crazy part is, Sackable Offense, is that these players are well aware of Chelsea's history.
Of course, yeah.
They actually come out and quote and say, oh, but this is Chelsea. Manager comes in, does well, then goes through a bad patch, and then they're gone. Matt Law, couple of last week, wrote an article saying players like Hakim Ziyech and Romelu Lukaku will not change, will not adapt to Thomas Tuchel's 3-4-3 because they know if they stick around long enough, Thomas Tuchel's the one that's going to go. This is the mentality some of these Chelsea players have because they know they can outlast the manager.
It's terrible.
It's mad. It's mad. I'm going to continue on just before I let Yunus go. Obviously, he's a busy man. Yunus, a couple of things I want to talk to you about. I'll just read this through. People are going to get more annoyed about it, especially now the Premier League isn't in touching distance. When everything is still and going well, you can accept it. More players who are in and out of the side are going to think about whether they need to go somewhere else to play more. This was a quote from an insider. Players thinking about playing elsewhere, which is fine. The respect for everything he has done is still there, but the bond isn't as close as it was. So the bond with the players and Thomas Tuchel isn't as close what it used to be. I'm going to now skip a lot of stuff. There's heaps of stuff about Hakim Ziyech as well, some quotes there. It's mad. Bettinelli, this guy's also speaking like friggin' green. Bettinelli, he needs to keep his mouth shut as well. There's some positive stuff from Bettinelli, but there's other stuff as well. I want to now talk about, here we go. To add to the tension, players know what each other are earning, so inevitably that can lead to a bit of resentment or issues when it comes to contract negotiation. It is no coincidence that Cesar Azpilicueta, Rudiger and Christensen, who are paid significantly less than the strikers, have yet to agree extensions and are in danger of leaving for free in the summer. Yunus, we said this, right? And some of the fans actually believe, no, it means it's not about the money. No, bro. They all know who earns what.
Yeah. And what's crazy is how and why do they know that? Because realistically, they shouldn't. You know, like, do you know what your colleague makes? No one knows what their colleague makes. That's how it should be. That's how it should be, because that keeps the harmony. If you start, you know, I've had experience where I found out things from, you know, in terms of other people working in the same place.
And it changed your mood, didn't it?
It changed your mood. And not just me, but all of us. We were like, hang on, yo, what's going on?
Like, I work harder than you.
No, legit. Or you find out what's being made on top of your back and you're not getting what you feel you should be getting. Like, that's all that, you know? And it's like, what's going on? It changes a mood. Yeah. Why do these players know? You know? Obviously, you can Google search and have a look, but that's never 100% confirmed. So many of those figures tend to be wrong sometimes. But it's crazy. It shouldn't, you know, at the end of the day, a negotiation is a negotiation. You have a contract, Your agent does the work for you. It's not even you. So if you got a problem, speak to your agent.
I mean, Yunus, for example, right, like, it's so well documented, Callum Hudson-Odoi's wage, for example. Once again, before all the Callum fans jump on me, I'm just throwing that example because this particular example is well documented. Every living journalist out there has reported this figure, 120K per week. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Rudiger doesn't earn anywhere near that. Christensen doesn't earn anywhere near that. So how do you think Rudiger feels about that?
You know what's mad? And I found this out only last week or a few days ago. Do you know how much Edouard Mendy makes?
Bro, it must be peanuts, bro. 50K?
52K. That's exploitation, but I don't care. That's exploitation.
That's like Nike Factory.
52K.
The Nike
Barkley.
Factory.
Bro, Barkley's on more than him.
But Barkley's on 110.
Barkley is on nearly double, right? You got Drinkwater still somehow picking up 100K, and I don't know how that's happening. Lewis Baker, who just left, who didn't even make first team football, basically, he's now gone to Stoke, if I'm not mistaken. He was just under what Edouard Mendy's making now.
Do you know, a lot of these issues have been made by the board as well, and they need to start cleaning this up. I was just saying yesterday that maybe it's okay that they didn't jump on a stupid left wing back. I mean, it's mad how Goosen's going to Inter Milan now from Atlanta, and we're not even in the conversation. We don't even know who Goosen's is. Exactly. Our scout don't even know who that player is. Do you know what I mean? But at least, okay, you didn't jump onto someone stupid, okay, in the summer. Now do your homework for summer. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And some of these blames, all of these players, Werner, Havertz, Pulisic. You see, who'd you buy these players for? Like, for which manager? For what philosophy? And then these scouts have the audacity to say, well, we've been scouting this player, Hakim Ziyech, we've been watching him for 3 years. 3 years?
We've been watching him. We've been watching him for 3 years. You want to know who's scouting? Man City. About to get Alvarez from River Plate. That's scouting. That is scouting. Like, no one really knew, unless if they were paying attention to South American football, who Alvarez was. Unless you hear a whisper here and there, but no one truly actually knows who this guy is. That's scouting. Because I truly look at him and I'm like, yo, City might have just got themselves a striker.
Yunus, 20 million euros. Forget about pounds.
Yeah, euros. That's like 16 million pounds.
You think Pep Guardiola's not going to turn him into a superstar?
They're already calling him an Aguero regen. We'll see.
Meanwhile, our scouts, hands at the back, chilling, relaxing, maxing and relaxing.
Our scouts have one job. Yeah, they do this. Check this out. Yeah.
All right, lads. It's been a hard day of work.
I'm going home.
I've done a lot of lifting today.
Honestly.
I mean, Yunus, honestly, I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to let you have final thoughts before you go, before I continue on. We knew something was going on.
Of course. Yeah.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
No.
But I want you to say something to nearly 300 live, because we have to say we're influencers, right? You got over 100K. I've got nearly 10K. Like, we can give out a positive message to the fan base so that there's no clouding of judgment. I feel like we need to back this gaffer, bro. If this gaffer goes, we're done, bro. 12 months, man. Some of these players need to be patient. Calm down and be patient. What do you got to say?
The thing is, when you look historically, say Di Matteo, right? Yeah, he won the Champions League after briefly taking it, but despite him getting sacked quick, we knew he wasn't a manager. He was a stopgap who managed to get the squad back together, and they won it, right? It is what it is. TT isn't that. TT is a fully fledged manager who's proven and has come in and done what he's done in such a short space of time. If he doesn't get backed, no one will. It's as simple as that. If he doesn't get backed, I mean, we might as well appoint City. We might as well appoint Roy Hodgson. It's as simple as that. We might as well, yeah. Or Big Sam.
We might be lucky
because Big Sam.
Watford might drop, sack him.
They might in about 2 weeks. The way they're going. So look, TT needs to be backed all the way here. It's the same message we say under every manager, though, isn't it? And it's the same trend. And we'll see what happens towards the end of the season. We know where this situation can lead to because we've seen this film too many times. Yeah. It has to stop right now. Like right now. We've got a 2-week break. These players need to reset themselves mentally, come back, and then we go again for all these cup competitions. My worry is that if we get knocked out of some sort of competition, that will start to deplete everyone's mood. And we know where that leads to. So
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope the manager gets backed, and I hope it's a case of we get to the summer and then they give him everything that he needs in order to build the team that he wants to build. If we don't do that, we're finished.
I mean, Eunice, just before I let you go, how important is that point that in the summer, no excuses anymore from the board. Get no penny pinching. Get rid of whoever you need to get Timo Werner out. If he's one of these players who's upset that he's not getting game time, get him out. And he's no good to us anyway. If Christian Pulisic is one of these players, get him out. And so on and so forth. If it's Callum, if it's Ziyech, get them out. I mean, Eunice, if we screw this up in this summer, I swear the board is not going to hear the end of it.
TT needs to be given the freedom to be able to choose what attacking lineup he wants, even from players that aren't at the club right now. He needs to be able to build his forward line and let him do what he thinks is going to work according to what he implements, right? Simple as that. But on top of that, we need to sort out our scouting department, man, because this is where it starts. That's the source. Thomas Tuchel doesn't have the time to be able to look about and see what players are going to suit his system. He might watch games from a different league or different game in the Premier League, and he might spot a talent or here or there. But he's not going to be observing that player constantly. You know, he has an idea. He'll be able to feed it off to the scouting department, and then it's up to them to be able to get all the information that he needs. Ultimately, they need to be spotting players that he doesn't even know about. That's how it works. And then present it to Thomas Tuchel. Do you like this guy? Have a look. This is what we've collated. This is the information we have. What do you think? And then
Pep didn't scout Alvarez. Pep didn't scout Alvarez.
Of course not. He probably got word or signal either from his scouts or obviously the Argentine connection or whatever. And then the rest done the work. And there you go. They've got themselves a nice little signing coming in. We need to do that. That's where the source is. If that's not happening, how do you want TT to be able to pluck out the players that he wants? He's not a scout. He's a manager. He's a coach. You know, so it works on everyone in that circle. Everyone needs to be doing their job, and if they don't, we know how it ends.
Tuchel's the one who's going to get sacrificed.
Exactly.
Tuchel's the
we
one
can't
who's
let
going to
that
get
happen.
sacrificed. Eunice, thank you so much for your time, but I'm going to let you go. I know you got work and stuff. Thank you so much for jumping on. I can't wait. I'm pretty sure you're probably going to make a video on this. I hope you get to read that whole article, bro. It's just, I only read few extracts of it. There are other mad stuff that's in that article. It's just, and I believe it. I do believe it because they're quotes. I have to believe quotes. Simon Johnson's not going to make up quotes.
Yeah,
so,
it's true.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for your time, bro. Honestly,
no problem, man.
Much appreciated.
Nice one. It's all right. See you later, everyone. Don't forget, sub and like.
Appreciate it,
See you
bro.
later,
Appreciate
people. Take care, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue on. Thank you so much for the super chat, Avin. Thank you. Players who are not happy, please can leave. I'm happy in playing with Academy lads because we got a wonderful manager who reads the game, who has plan B for every match. Trust TT. 100%. 100%. You know, this is what Yunus was saying. We have a gaffer that actually tactically knows what's going on. This isn't like a Roberto Di Matteo that just fluked a Champions League. There was nothing fluky about Thomas Tuchel winning the Champions League. Thomas Tuchel, if you have a look at the XG, the system created a lot of opportunities. We should have battered each and every one of those Champions League matches. The XG against Real Madrid was mad. We had an XG of like 5 point something, nearly 6 goals. We should have battered everyone. It's not like Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard is still a rookie. Frank has a lot to learn. Lot. Thomas Tuchel is probably one of the best 3 managers in the world. And these players, tell me honestly, I know a lot of you guys will say, but Miz, they haven't been playing the position. Stuff that for a second. It is what it is. We had to do the 3-4-3 for a particular reason. We need to understand. We were leaking goals. We had to play this way because we weren't good. This was a stopgap for the time. This is not how Thomas Tuchel is going to play forever. Thomas Tuchel literally today has been 12 months. Pep Guardiola is the manager of Man City for like, what? This is his 5th season or 6th season? Klopp as well, 5th or 6th season? Or more? And we are getting upset with Thomas Tuchel after 12 months that he's not changing the 3-4-3. I know maybe it is time to transition away from 3-4-3 to make that 4-1-4-1 because we don't have wing backs. But some of these players, they need to calm down, man. So you haven't played your position, but that doesn't mean you should miss your passes. That doesn't mean you should be making poor decisions. And you're telling me you're making poor decisions because you're scared of Thomas Tuchel's criticism. It's mad. It's really mad. Aka couldn't agree more. Faisal, me stop being reactionary and negative. Stop being. I hate that word reactionary. I really do. I'm being reactionary, ladies and gentlemen. We've got nearly over 260 people. I'm being reactionary because quotes from certain individuals, whether it's players, whether it's associated members, internal people, saying these players are unhappy. What are they unhappy about? You haven't been good, and I'm being reactionary. These players haven't been good from Lampard days, and I'm being reactionary. I'm being negative when I've been backing them. There comes to a point where I want to back the manager more. And right now, that is the time. Tuchel needs to motivate them. It's his fault too. Tuchel needs to motivate them. Tuchel literally just took them to every single final. This is ego. This is players showing ego, players not concerned about the club's welfare. They're just concerned about themselves. What are you concerned about? You're getting paid. Every one of you guys are getting paid so smartly, so handsomely. Apparently, I'm reactionary. I'd go to war for TT. 100%, man. We finally have a gaffer, ladies and gentlemen, that we can start planning to start catching the likes of City and Liverpool. S. Roy, at Faisal Ahmed, which of the attacker is good as per you? Please answer. Forget attackers. Is even Jorginho and Kante good so far? It's true. Jorginho has been very average as well. Kante, a lot of the times he's been absent, but mostly he's been all right. But last couple of games, he hasn't been that great. But I don't want to say too much about Kante, but Jorginho 100%. Faisal, you should be more thinking about Thomas Tuchel needs to be backed. Thomas Tuchel needs to have his players. It's not fair. Some of these players complaining. I know who it could be. I'm pretty sure I know who it could be. One thing this article talks about is Mason Mount saying always positive stuff. And you can see it on his quotes, on his interviews. It goes on to say, Mason Mount's been saying, I like the gaffer criticizing us because if he doesn't, then complacency will hit in. As much as we always complain about Mason Mount, one thing I can say about Mason Mount, he plays for Chelsea Football Club, man. He loves the football club. He says it in this article from Simon Johnson. Go and read it. He says it. I like it when the gaffer tells us the truth. I want the gaffer to be honest with us. Then only we can get better. Yet some of these players, they can't take it. It's too brutal. It's too brutal. It's mad. It's mad. I want Thomas Tuchel to have every opportunity in the summer to bring in his players. Whether it be 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. He needs to bring his players. And the scouts need to help him out. The type of players that his system requires, whether it's 3-4-3, whether it's a 4-1-4-1, possession-based, counter-attacking, whatever it is. some of these players are actually saying, this is normal. This is normal for Chelsea Football Club. Manager comes in, does well. Second year, things start going pear-shaped and they leave. These players should not have the power to talk like that. Please, if you get the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, try and read that article from The Athletic. I've only read a few extracts of it. The salary, you guys always say, the wages don't matter. Wages do matter. Wages matter. Someone like Rudiger, who's been a cornerstone for Thomas Tuchel, why wouldn't he ask for more money? So many of these attackers are earning so much more than him, and they've done nothing. Look at the amount of blood and sweat Rudiger puts into every game. We complain about some of these attackers playing, in positions that they're not accustomed with. You got to do a job for your team, mate. We've been hit. Thomas Tuchel, the amount of adversities that he's faced, we've had regular players being affected by the pandemic. We are the only team that did not miss a single game. We've had players in and out. We've had players injured. Thomas Tuchel, some people complain Pulisic played as a striker. What was he meant to do? We didn't have any strikers available. Lukaku was injured. Havertz was injured as well. Then they both had tested positive. What was he meant to do? And you complain that was he not meant to play Pulisic and bench him? At least Pulisic is getting minutes. Yet that's a problem. Pulisic's dad comes out and starts saying that, how's my son going to develop when he's playing out of position? What's Thomas Tuchel meant to do? We don't have wing backs, so we play Callum or Pulisic or Ziyech. What's he meant to do? We don't have wing backs. Some people complain, why does Lukaku start? What about Timo? What about Havertz? I completely understand. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's an injury. I don't know. Thomas Tuchel likes Havertz. Some people are saying Werner. It's not like Werner bangs in goals for us either. In life, no limits. Miz, I get that some players had to be played out of position, but the manager and the fans shouldn't overly criticize them for not being great. It's not about overly criticizing, man. Have a look at some of our games. Burnley. How many chances did we screw against Burnley? We peppered them. Do you remember how many chances we had? Callum had a chance. Barkley had a chance. Havertz had a chance. Everton, how many times did we pepper them and we didn't put it away? Look at all the recent games. We've had so many chances and we didn't end up capitalizing. There are games, there are stats in games where we've had 23 shots and none on target. Is that Tuchel's fault? Why wouldn't we criticize, man? We've seen it. Recently, do you remember Callum squaring the ball to Mason Mount and couldn't get to it? Mason Mount missing a lot of opportunities as well at times. Hakim Ziyech missing opportunities as well. Romelu Lukaku, have a look at Lukaku. Last match against Spurs, 2 good chances he screwed up. Don't you guys think that these players need to look at themselves as well? Can Timo Werner really complain? Can Pulisic really complain? You've been injured a lot anyway. And when you do play, when you dribble, forget about what position. What about when he dribbles and he dribbles straight into people? What about that? What about Ziyech when he's either in the mood or not in the mood? When he's not in the mood against Brighton, he has a disaster. Even though he scored a screamer against Brighton as well, he didn't play well. The entire team didn't play well. But it seems like it's dependent on mood. If he's happy, he'll play well. If he's not, he won't. Well, Chelsea Football Club doesn't pay you like that. If Chelsea Football Club's happy, they'll pay you. If they're not happy, then they won't pay you. They pay you always. To each and every one of these players. Chelsea Football Club not discriminating. If you're not playing well, you're not going to get paid. You get paid either way. Manaf, sometimes it's good to speak out on your players sometimes. I swear if it wasn't Tuchel's brilliance, we had been out of top 4. Exactly. Tell me one player that's been dragging us to all of this glory. Tell me one player. No one. It's literally the entire team. It's literally been Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel and his tactics. Thomas Tuchel and his tactics won us the Champions League. Thomas Tuchel and his tactics got us to top 4 from the mud. And Thomas Tuchel and his tactics is doing the madness now. Not a single player can look at themselves and say, not like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard could say, I dragged Chelsea. I grabbed Chelsea by the collar and I dragged him. I dragged Chelsea Football Club with me. Not one player can say that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the stream right here. Smash the like button before you go. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please just remember, cut the player sentiments, man. Leave your sentiments elsewhere. Learn to love the football club. Learn to understand that with Thomas Tuchel, we can possibly catch Liverpool and City and perhaps create a dynasty. What's bigger? Prolonged success or falling in love with the player and making sure that player is in the club and the club does crap? What's bigger for you? Just understand what's bigger for you. Club's benefits or a player's benefits. That's all I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I should drop another video later, UK time. I'll talk about Armando Broja. Some bit of news about that. Pretty sure he's probably going to be sold. If it's not this window, then in the summer. And I might talk about a few other news as well. Take care. Until next time. See ya.